What is up there, people of the YouTube? It is PlaidNGlasses here, bringing you another gameplay commentary. Today I want to talk about the 5 months I've been a dad, and also the whole thing about being a dad, being a first-time dad actually, and just discuss about everything that has come down from him being born to what he is today. And just want to give a heads up that my wife and I are doing really well. My son Archer is doing extremely well, and he's just been growing so quickly, so fast. It's unbelievable how fast babies grow. You know, the whole thing where people kind of say like, oh, you grow up so fast, you never really believe in it, but then it actually happens and you're kind of like, holy shit, this thing is really going crazy. But I wanted to talk about the whole process of what it's been going on. That's why I call this video 5 months and counting. And I want to talk about the start, because when my wife and I discovered that we were pregnant, it was a ultimate joy, because we took 2.5 years to actually try to make him and try to conceive Archer. It took so long, took so much energy, and it got to the point that it kind of really took a toll of my wife. She'll look at pregnancy tests and say it has to be like a fine line that shows that I'm pregnant, all that kind of stuff. But once we finally figured out she was pregnant, it was utter joy and excitement and nervousness, I could definitely tell you. But the thing is that the stress was very real, but the sickness was even worse. Like the reality of the sickness, because for the first 2.5-3 months, my wife was extremely sick. She couldn't even, the thought, smell, talked about the sight, the smell of any sort of food made her throw up. She lost like almost 22 pounds straight by just throwing up and being very sick due to her body was just not taking well to the changes that her body was going through because of her being pregnant. And everything about it was extremely crazy, because I try to make whatever I can for her without making her sick, but just the sight, smell, and everything, like I just said, just made her throw up uncontrollably. And you know, she only could really eat like little tiny protein shakes and like even Lunchables after a while, because she couldn't really keep anything down. But then we got through it. After the 9 months, it just got a little bit better. She got a little bit better with everything, and she started to actually eat better and started actually looking at her blood sugar and everything like that, and everything became a little bit more easier. But the actual birthing process itself was absolutely insane. They told us that, oh, you know, they were thinking that Archer was going to be like a 10-15 pound elephant baby or something like that. So they kind of moved her due date a little bit earlier. So on Friday, like around noon or whatever, we went to the hospital, and then close around 2 o'clock, Archer was actually born. They had to put her like an emergency C-section. So they did the C-section, and he was born. He was born at 8 pounds, 2.9 ounces. So he was a still good, healthy baby. So the timing of it was crazy. The experience was absolutely insane. Like, I never done this before in my life. I was not even nervous until I got into the hospital gown and waiting outside the surgery room. That's when I started almost pissing myself and shaking, because I was extremely nervous about the whole process and everything like that. But once he was born, it was extremely amazing holding his hand and holding and seeing him for the first time, my first son. It was an extreme, I don't know, the euphoria about everything. It was just unbelievable, and I can't really like tell you how enjoyable that was. But it was also how fast we went in and out of the hospital, because like I said, we went into the hospital around like Friday afternoon, and then they dismissed us Sunday afternoon. So we were like Friday afternoon, full Saturday, and then Sunday afternoon we head right back to the house. And it was like, what? Because it was just like, she was pregnant, gave birth, home, baby. It was extremely fast, and I can understand why hospitals want to do that. They want to like probably get the house, the rooms open for other people giving birth or anything like that. I understand that, but it was a little bit too quick for her and I taste. But I can definitely tell you that the first month was extremely painful, just on the sake of the lack of sleep. He was on this sleep schedule where he'll wake up like every 2 hours, and it was extremely difficult because of the fact that not only that we were taking care of him, I still had to drive her mother to work at 4:30 in the morning. So it was like just a nightmare trying to figure out where's a good schedule to sleep, either to sleep now or sleep later or try to pick up a nap or anything like that. It was extremely difficult. And after that, I think it was like the first night or so, my wife actually had almost a humongous panic attack. She thought that when she was sleeping, she accidentally like slept on top of him, or dropped him, even though Archer was completely fine, sleeping in the pack and play, all that kind of stuff, and she was just completely going crazy. I had to like sit by her for hours and hours, hold her hand and let her know that Archer's okay, and she finally calmed down to it. But it was such a toll from over the weekend. She went from pregnant mother to a mother, and then just like now she's back home with everything. And not only that, he had trouble like actually pooping, like he couldn't really, he was going like almost a day and a half to 2 days straight without pooping. And we became very, first time parents, we just think everything that a baby does is like there's a big problem. So if Archer was breathing some weird way, we're kind of like, is this normal type of thing. And we talked to the pediatrician, and he said like it's completely normal. But as all I do respect him for being in this field for many years, it just like when you're being a father, you have that jitter of like, I don't think he's okay, there's got to be something. So the first month was very difficult, and then the next several months, that's when it started to become like full force of like how difficult things were, because of the fact that he had a formula problem. He didn't really take the regular formula because unfortunately my wife couldn't produce that much breast milk, and he wasn't really latching on to her breast to actually feed, and whenever she was trying to breast pump, she only can get like an ounce or two, so we just went to straight formula, which was not a big deal. But unfortunately we figured out that he was not having a good time enjoying the formula because of the fact that I think he had like a lactose problem, because we did the regular formula and he was just extremely fussy. There was nights where he just wouldn't stop crying or making noises, or maybe going like, just grunting very hard, like he was trying to push something out but nothing was coming out. And that really diminished his sleep schedule even more, because then he was just like waking up every 3 hours, crying, screaming and making so many grunting noises, and it was all because of the formula. We tried the regular formula, and then we went to the soy-based formula. That took away some of the fussiness, but then he started taking stools, but they were like firm, rock hard stools, almost like how grown-up humans are with their stools. And he's a baby. The babies are not supposed to have like hard stools like that. So it was extremely crazy. And then we went into like this other formula to gentle ease, and that didn't work. It finally, after weeks upon weeks, the pediatrician finally wrote us a prescription for hypoallergenic formula, and that literally saved everything for Archer. He is so much better now. That's why right now, 4.5-5 months in, he was getting so much better with the hypoallergenic formula. He was doing so much better. He was taking it down very easily. He was not fussiness. He was not really doing everything that he was previously doing. Like, he's growing up so fast. Like, immediately, like right now, he's turning over. He's learning how to be on his stomach. He's observing everything. He's laughing at everything. He's playing with the dogs. He's playing with the cats. He's petting the dogs. He's just doing so much so fast. And his sleeping is done so much well. In the past month and a half, he's been actually sleeping pretty much through the night, and it's been working because my wife has been getting a lot more sleep. I don't have to worry about him or her very much because they're sleeping, they're sound asleep. I still stay up at night to take my mother-in-law to work, but then I go to sleep, and when I wake up around noon, I go pick up her mother, I come back home, and then we tag team Archer. But honestly, Archer is kind of like at this point where he doesn't really need to be held all the time. He doesn't really need to be constantly looked after on the sake of like, is he gonna cry, is he gonna do stuff. He's on his pack and play, playing with his toys, enjoying life, smiling and giggling and all that kind of stuff. So it's this first time being a dad thing, it was extremely difficult in the beginning, and it's one of these things that I wish that in schools will probably teach more of, or the whole thing about how babies can each be different. Because I have friends of mine and family members that had babies, or even talking about how I was a baby or how my cousins were babies, where they all differently say like, oh, he was very fussy, he didn't do anything, he was quiet, he didn't roll over, he didn't walk or anything like that. So my whole experience being a father for the past 5 months, it's been a fucking roller coaster, but it's definitely a roller coaster that I am not gonna be sad about, angry about, or upset about, because it is one hell of a ride. And every single morning when I wake up and I'm basically half asleep in my underwear, my hair is all east and messy and shit like that, my one eye's half open, and I look at Archer and I go, hey, and he just looks at me and just gives me the biggest smile, is obviously the best thing in the morning right now. The best thing I could ever see when I wake up. So for anybody who's thinking about having a child or anything like that, babies can be different and it could change. They could either be really fussy in the beginning and immediately after a while they learn how to relax or anything like that, or they could just be 100% perfect in the beginning. You never know. But all in all, just stay with it, be positive, and I can guarantee you that you're gonna look at the past several months and realize, like, man, it's crazy how fast things go and how easily they can change your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little video into my life of being a father. I will definitely come up with more update videos and any more news about Archer, because so many things are happening with him and I just can't be any more of a happy father. So if you guys enjoyed this commentary, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. I got some more videos on the way. I'll see you guys some other time. Peace out.